today. So every day we start fresh because we can't affect the past, but we damn sure can make a difference today.
Welcome to episode 6 of Shot Talk. Today we're discussing Sunday's episode 313. I'm one of your hosts. My name's Jennifer, and I'm joined by Kari.
Hi, guys.
This episode had a lot of moving parts, like a lot. We also have to talk about the promo for next week because, oh my goodness, we have feels. So many feels. I mean, half of those views are probably from me on YouTube. So, yeah. We do have some news. So it's the end of the season, basically. I mean, next week is the finale, but we do have a TeePublic store. So you might have seen our tweet from last week where we shared some custom squad goal shirts that I had made for us. They were honestly just like supposed to be like for Kari and I just thought it was gonna be fun to do. And then they became so popular. So we thought, why not open up a TeePublic store? So you can get shirts, stickers, hoodies, anything really from there. And we'll have more designs as well. Hint, we do have a special design going up on TeePublic today that all Chenford stands can clown over. Yeah, so it will be a special one. But we also have some other fun related news. Kari, you want to share it?
Okay. Yeah, guys. So, Eric Winter, the Chenford King himself, followed the podcast Twitter, which was so cool. And I'm still shocked over that because
we're slightly losing it too. So but there is still no renewal news as of.
I'm still sad about it.
As of 15 minutes ago on Monday night, there's no renewal news. So yeah.
We're crossing our fingers though.
I'm sure that it will happen the minute that we get off of recording this, that it'll be like the rookie's been renewed. I'm really hoping because if we started all of this and then the show gets canceled, I don't know what. So but crossing our fingers for the renewal news. And then, we have one more episode left and then we're on hiatus for a while. So we'll be thinking of, some different topics that we can cover. We'll let you know of our schedule probably next week or, just kind of on Twitter. But, we'll probably take a break to kind of regroup. So
I'm pretty sure we're going to need a week to regroup depending on how this finale goes.
Yeah, the promo was just it gave me so many feelings. And I got series finale vibes from it, but it could also be because they don't know if they're getting picked up. So I really hope that they do, but I was just like, this is the most beautiful promo that I've ever seen for a show. So all right, should we dive into the episode? There was a lot.
Yes, we shall. Okay, so guys, we actually opened with Tim and John driving, and y'all already know how I felt, I should say, in past tense, because I was here for it. Honestly, I'm pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed seeing Tim and John work together. And so anyway, so we see them, they're driving, we get an update on Henry, which is nice to bring that back around.
Yeah.
He's rehabbing everything. He and Abigail are doing good. Surgery was successful, like we saw last week. Nolan has 10 more days as a rookie, and he talks a lot. And so he's just going through things, and he tells Tim that he, kind of wants to be a training officer. And he wants Tim's advice, shockingly. So in a way, I'm still kind of surprised by that. But anyway, their conversation, it gets cut short when they hear automatic weapons go off in a cemetery. And so they're driving, they pull up, they walk through the cemetery together. People are just they're dropping like flies. That's just crazy to me. And they come up, and then unfortunately is I don't even know what to describe it as. They're at a cemetery already, but it's kind of just a grave site kind of layout of people that are there, unfortunately, that have been
killed
down. Yeah.
I don't know.
Um,
It seemed like a carjacking, but like the cars were still there. So yeah, it
right.
was just
Yeah, like
weird.
I don't know if it was like they kind of maybe were gonna try to, pull something off and then
Yeah.
it turned into, like the people were, the actual targets or something. Like but anyway, so
Yeah.
this is the start of the, the war, like
Yeah.
the drug war. It has begun. And so we get to see Angela Lopez come in to the scene as well. And Tim is the one that like briefs her, and everyone kind of thinks that obviously this is associated with La Fiera or Sandra de la Cruz. Um, Tim knows about Cesar through the last episode, so like he and Nolan are gonna go try to talk to him to get some information. Um, and they just I don't know, I liked that scene though that they were talking because they just really like told him how it is. Like they didn't beat around the bush. Like
Yeah.
Tim and Nolan were like really on the same page for
Yeah.
once, and it was like really it was kind of cool to see.
Yeah. I liked seeing Tim and Nolan work together. I
Yeah.
need more of it. So
I do too, and I never thought I would say that in a million years. Like
yeah.
never.
Well, I think it's because like Nolan has like a soft exterior and
Mhm.
Tim has a very hard shell about him, hard
Mhm.
shell around him, but Tim can be soft at times.
Yeah. Well, and
So
I think like Nolan, not that like he's never annoying, but just like
he can
he's
get
like
a
mellowed
little
out a
annoying.
little bit more too.
Yeah.
Um, and I think like Tim's like warmed up to him a bit more, as opposed to like season
Yeah.
one, when we first saw them team up. They've like both come so far since then,
Yeah.
I think. But anyway, so while they're waiting to kind of see where he leads them, Tim's on the phone with wedding guests about RSVPs to the Wolpez wedding. And I swear, guys, if like Tim was an emoji, he'd be the angry emoji, and then Nolan would be sitting there being the happy emoji.
Yeah.
Because Tim is like on the phone, like griping to this person. He's like, emotional support animals are not wedding guests.
Yep.
And Nolan, like, I don't know, does he take the phone or does he like try to like get Tim's attention and then ends up taking the phone
I think
anyway?
he ends up getting his attention and he's like, just hand it over. And I was
Yeah,
like, it's probably the safer bet. I mean, Nolan's been married before. Well, so is
that is
Tim.
true.
So is Tim.
Right.
Duh. But I feel like Nolan and Sarah, now that we know her name, like they had a huge wedding, whereas like Tim and Isabel did not.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want like more backstory on like either of those though, like
Same.
previous marriages. That would be
Like I want to just know
interesting.
more. I don't know. What I love about the rookie is they do give backstory. It's not like everything all at once, obviously, but they do give some. So I
Yeah.
would just like to have more of their like marriage backstory.
Yeah. And so like when Nolan has the phone, he's trying to, like gently explain to this person, like Tim's, he's trying to make amends because he made a mistake. And Tim's just like scowling at him, like completely like side eye, not impressed. He's probably just thinking, like, what the heck? Nolan, what are you doing?
His
Like,
WTF face was
yeah, that's it.
hilarious. Hilarious.
Yeah, it was so good. And then the next time, obviously, it cuts over to other scenes for different characters, which we'll get into later. The next time we see Tim and John is when Smitty comes up with he was supposed to get clothes from their lockers for the stakeout they were going on. This is where the Hugs for Life t-shirt comes into play. If you guys saw that promotional photo where Tim's kind of holding it, being like, what the heck?
Rookie Stan Twitter went crazy with that.
There were so many memes.
There was like Chenford Endgame shirt. I love
was
Lucy.
so great.
Like, oh my gosh. It
There was one with a
hilarious.
clown though. There was
Yeah.
one with like, yeah, oh my god, it was so
Yeah.
great. I love those. But yeah, oh my gosh. And then this was, I know you said in the notes that like this was like one of your favorite moments. This was also one of mine of
Yeah.
Tim's. Why do we rely on you for anything? Like he's
I
he's so done.
just love this entire sequence. I love Smitty. Like he is just the comedic relief that we need. He's
Mhm.
not in every episode. I mean, we don't see him at least, but when he does come in, like he definitely makes his appearances just
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah, because he wasn't invited to this wedding, but he sent an RSVP.
Yeah.
And he just goes, he's just like, no, because I'm gonna DJ at the wedding. And Tim mouths to John, he's not the DJ. And I swear, like John, like as Smitty was leaving, was like, you're not the DJ. Like he's like shouting it to him, and I
Yeah.
just about died.
Yeah, he definitely did.
laughing. It was so funny.
Yeah.
So despite Smitty's mess up with the clothes, we do see them, TV magic, they change clothes.
Right. Somehow magically got new shirts. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously they could have went to the store or something, but I highly doubt it. It's called
Yeah.
TV magic for a reason.
But yeah, so we see both of them are in plain clothes. I'm gonna call Tim in Plaidford, even though that's like silly, I'm sure, but I can't not do it. Because it's just such a look, like Tim in plaid. Like,
Yeah.
come on, guys.
Oh, it definitely is.
It was so good. I mean, like John, like they both just looked like so cool and like chill. It
Yeah.
was a good look for them both.
Really, the only ones that we've seen undercover on the Rookie is Nyla.
Mhm.
So it was cool to see someone else undercover, or two other people, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Later we again see John try to help Tim. This time Tim retaliates with, "You told them I felt so guilty, I cried myself to sleep." And then John, ever so great with the responses, was like, "Yeah, it really helped paint the picture."
Oh my gosh, yes.
I can't with them. Like, I never thought I'd say that I love like their dynamic so much, but I do.
Yeah, it's Tim's one-liners, sassy one-liners to John that just gets me every time.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my gosh, they're just so funny. And so once like they're still surveying everything, they're trying to figure out what the heck Cesar is doing there. Once they realize he was just there for a booty call, they go to investigate because, like they said, like as they were kind of talking to the girl, uh, criminals usually hide drugs and other contraband at like their girlfriends or significant others' house. Um, and so even though she tries to deny, like she doesn't know who that is, like what are they talking about? I just love John's line of "That's weird" because we just saw him leave. Like
Yep.
he's just not beating around the bush today.
No.
And so she eventually lets them inside. And then as they're kind of poking around a little bit, um, Tim gets back on the line with Angela, who's telling them about a possible hit, which then he tells her like they're kind of already aware of, or like
Yeah.
they're kind of ahead of the curve on that, because lo and behold, like there comes some of La Fiera's crew to like take out the baby.
Yeah.
Which was like still shocking to me.
I did like how Angela was kind of like, you would really do that to someone after what you just went through,
Mm-hmm.
or something
Yeah.
along those lines. But yeah, I mean, I thought that was really, I mean, that was like a gut punch, but La
Yeah.
Fiera just does not care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think like one of my favorite lines was just how she delivered the, "Well, if that happens, that's just karma balancing the scales." Like that was just,
Yeah.
it was eerie, but it was good, like a
Yeah.
good eerie. And so as these people are coming up, they probably think like they're gonna storm the house because like I think Tim was the one that said, or maybe it was John that said like they're just expecting to see a defenseless woman and a baby
Yeah.
in the house. They're not expecting two police officers to be there, and so they come out. They're facing off with these guys. The guns are drawn behind their backs,
It
which
was
the
the
audience
same guy
sees.
that threatened Wesley last episode.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so then obviously like they're gunfire is exchanged. They managed to make it back inside the house. The the rest of the guys, they break down the doors, enter the house. this epic shootout ensues, which is just like crazy. Like
Yeah.
if y'all saw Eric's behind the scenes video on Instagram, then you know that the Tim scene where he takes like gunfire through the house
Yeah.
and is like moving to try to find some cover is that same behind the scenes.
You know what made me laugh a little bit was when John got that first shot out to Galeno, is I believe what his name was. Yeah. He like took the bullet out and he was like, ow.
Yeah,
And I was just like, okay.
Yeah. They always have like good like
Like
moments
little
of like
moments
levity.
like that. Yeah. Yeah. It was just like, did he have a vest on? Like, I don't know. But
Yeah,
I
maybe
mean,
he's just
yeah.
used to it. Like, ooh, I wouldn't want to be
I don't
used to
know,
that
but he
though.
took it out so easily.
Yeah.
I just
That was
thought that was interesting.
ooh, yeah. And then we see Nolan in a knife fight. Like, while Tim's trying to, fend off these guys with guns, Nolan is in a knife fight. And side note, I now understand why he kind of took off his jacket to kind of use it as he's fighting or like going about. I didn't quite understand that in the promo, but now I kind of saw that he was kind of using it to kind of help him go about, especially since you use your arms and hands are being used a lot in those kinds of situations.
Yeah, but to me it's like, where's the other what's covering the other arm then? I guess
That's
maybe
true.
he just,
I don't know.
like, you do that on the hand that the other person has the knife in.
Yeah, or that's like dominant maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
Well,
it was just interesting to like I kind of putting all those pieces together as it was happening. And then so we see obviously John, takes down that guy. Thank goodness. And between the two of them, they managed to take down this 5-man crew. And what I also really liked at the end, kind of all this like action-packed moments, were when Tim actually acknowledges that, like, oh, this is your first knife fight. Like, good job. Like, he's like acknowledging John's efforts, which I also never thought I'd see the day that actually happened. So it was just, it was a really, it was just a good sequence. I know I put it on our Twitter page of like, the camera, the lighting, the like direction of that, like those action scenes was like fantastic.
Tim Bradford has had some amazing growth this season alone.
Yeah, definitely. And then so after all this happens, they're back at the station from this insane day. Nolan mentions how long their paperwork's going to take and offers to order Thai food. And then Tim, like, while he doesn't acknowledge the like food comment, which I thought was very
not right away,
he does say like that John's a good cop, but warns him that being a TO is not something to take lightly because he'd be training the next generation of leaders or police personnel. And so, but what I liked about John's response was like he was like, I don't want to be a TO. Like, he's going to be a training officer. Like, he knows what he wants to do. Like, nothing's going to stand in his way. And it kind of felt similar to me, like the pilot episode where he was telling Gray that he's not leaving. Like, he's earned his spot. He earned it then, and he's proven why he deserves to keep it now. I think, like,
to me it felt like he was reassuring himself. Like, not only was he assuring Tim, but he was reassuring himself, because I wonder, that knife fight was his first one, so I wonder if that kind of shook him up,
maybe,
and he was like, no, I need to reassure myself that I am going to be a TO, especially with all the stuff that happened with Henry last week. I mean, I'm sure that got to him.
Yeah, he probably really is like thinking about like not that he didn't contemplate his decisions before, but just like really taking like extra time with all aspects of his life, I'm sure.
So then we have Angela and La Fiera. So this was our second big storyline. We had like a few big storylines this week. But we started off the episode with some Lopez wedding talk. We love to see it. I mean, Wesley was like, we have cops that haven't RSVP'd yet. And Angela was like, yeah, they're probably not going to, because cops don't go to first time weddings. And Wesley was like, so that's all that I am to you, is like your first time husband?
Yeah, it's like starter husband. I was
Yeah.
like, please, Wesley, no, you're so much more than that, dude.
I was like, Wesley, we love you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought that was interesting because I mean, I don't know. I never really thought of it. Just because like in other shows that I watch where there's cops, they don't really like dive into like their history with like marriages or relationships or anything.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
but and then, you know, like as the episode went on, we saw Angela suggest splitting the RSVP list for the wedding, like we had said earlier when she rolled up to the cemetery and Tim briefed her. And I just liked this part from Tim where he's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And then a pause and he was like, fine, email me the list. So, like, I don't know why, but what, like, he's just a whole mood. Like, I just need him. Like, I need that all the time. I need that mood. But yeah. And then, you know, we saw that Angela met the detective who threatened Wesley, which the detective was Galeno. So, I mean, I think he used to be a detective, or that's what he told Wesley at least. And I instantly got nervous. I was like, well, something's gonna happen,
I
because
just got like vibes like that like the whole way through the episode though, when like whenever anyone like interacted with Angela.
yeah, because there was a few times where that DEA sergeant like would come out of nowhere, or special agent would, you know, just show up, and I was like, dude, that's creepy, and she's pregnant and alone.
Well, she literally said that too. She was like,
freak her out.
sneaky. She was like waiting for the pregnant woman to walk out. That's not creepy. Like,
well, and he's an agent. He could have went into the police, you know, district or whatever.
Yeah.
But we find out that La Fiera has nothing left to lose. I mean, obviously, she's lost her son. She's just there to like get payback. And the war will essentially end when La Fiera gives, or when Angela gives La Fiera that recording, which I can see that, but also like stuff is still gonna happen. I mean, it's not wrapped up yet. I don't believe that for 1 minute. And so then I noticed this hilarious little tidbit like throughout the episode was Tim had a special ringtone for Angela on his phone, and it was the bridal chorus. So it was like, you know, here comes the bride or something. And but I noticed that he still just had hers Lopez on his phone. Like, why not change that to Angela? But anytime she would call, he would pick it up right away. You know, he wouldn't like let it ring. So again, I just love that friendship. And
I just want to see like more phone interactions with like characters. That would be fun, I think.
But you know, kind of jumping back to the storyline, I just had to throw that in because I loved it. Angela was meeting with Special Agent Taggart, and she was being all sassy and boss bitch like, and I was like, yes, we love to see that, girl. Tell it to him straight. But you know, I mean, he comes to her door, or he comes back up to her, and she's all like sassy and defensive, like, I'm not giving her that recording. And then she ends up like, you know, kind of meeting him in the middle. And so then we find her showing up at Lafayette's door, where like she's, you know, she shows her the flash drive and she says, I have one condition: the war ends. But you know, I don't know, I just find Lafayette and Angela's relationship, if that's what you want to call it, like interesting, because she seems to care for Angela and the baby by like calling her Hermana and saying, you know, it's fine for the baby, like, you know, you'll be fine. But then I don't know, it's just so interesting and I can't really explain it.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's like it's not really like I mean, it is like there's like that maternal like instinct.
Yeah.
Assuming that like Angela's maybe a tiniest bit younger.
Yeah.
Than her.
I would think so.
But like, yeah, no, it is just really interesting, and I think it's something like we had said last week. We had touched on, you know, like it's kind of odd to have that, like, you know, a cartel boss and a detective have this kind of
like
connection, because it's not something you see
Well,
in
I
normal
don't feel like things are ever really hostile between them. I mean, they kind of were in this episode, but I think Angela just really wanted to get her point across. But
Yeah.
with other, like detectives and, drug lords or whatever, it's a little bit more hostile. With them,
Yeah.
it's not. And that, I mean, it kind of makes it like eerie and scary a little bit because I'm like,
Mhm.
what is going on? But then
Yeah.
I'm also like, I'm kind of here for it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, me too. Definitely.
But I mean, we saw that she gave her the one condition, and she said the war stops today. You need to declare immediate ceasefire and guaranteed protection of Cesar. And La Fiera just says no harm will come to Cesar Madrigal. You have my word. She instantly pulls out another computer that doesn't connect to her network and puts the flash drive in. And I don't know why, but it took me like a second rewatch to kind of understand what all she was saying, because I don't know. I've been running on like no sleep. So I was also, just kind of, I've been going in and out of things. But La Fiera says LAPD watches her crew and La Fiera's crew watches the police department and like FBI. So I don't know. I would think the network would also be like I mean, it's also the Wi-Fi. So I don't know. I just
Yeah,
found it
it's just I
interesting.
think it's like that cat and mouse game, but it's like
Yeah.
she's always one step ahead, which
Yeah.
is why I like the scene that you're going to talk about next of like, people like underestimating like the female
Yeah.
like race.
Well, and
Um
females of color too,
yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
But we saw Special Agent Taggart was waiting for Angela to walk outside. Now it was like broad daylight, so I wasn't as creeped out by that, but I was also like, you couldn't have waited for her at the district. I
Yeah.
mean, La Fiera literally just said, like, I know that you're on to me.
Mhm.
I mean, I would have went back to the district or like texted her and been like, meet me here.
Yeah.
Said you're
What's what I
waiting
mean though is I
outside the
think like
building.
since they were underestimating, like they didn't really like no one's perceiving any like threat, like from
Right.
either of them, which is unfortunate because they definitely should be scared.
Yeah. But Angela tells it to him straight and in a sassy tone, no less, because she's a queen. And says La Fiera is probably smarter than you, and I'm gonna be the one that takes her down. To which I have to say, Angela, please just be careful. Like, we cannot have you losing that baby. We need to protect you at all costs. Like,
Yeah.
wrap her belly in bubble wrap or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had those. We had those moments. We had some Lopez and some Angela and Tim. It was just the best. So
It really was.
yeah.
And then Jackson actually had quite a bit going on for him
Mhm.
too.
Yeah.
The first time we see him, he's bringing in a suspect with Lucy. I was just glad that they're still like partnered up as P2s, guys.
Yeah.
Like it's still going strong. They're arguing over who has to do the paperwork. When Lucy is summoned by Sergeant Gray, Jennifer, you'll get into that later,
Yeah.
of Lucy's storyline. But I just like the line of like they went like back and forth and Lucy got to duck out. So she's like, paperwork's all yours. Like
Yep.
poor Jackson.
And she just
Um
like gives him a smile. And it's like,
yeah.
peace out, dude.
Hmm. Yeah, she was so fine with how that ended. Um and so we just see Jackson like walk a couple more paces forward with said criminal. And the next time we see him is he and Professor Ryan were talking, and she is interviewing him for her book. And Jackson had told her that being black affects his stance on police reform, because he's seen firsthand how the right kind of policing can serve communities and make people's lives better. And so when like an officer abuses that power in those communities, he takes it personally, which obviously is understandable. Like he should.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Just shout out to Titus. He delivers every line this episode. I mean, well, like always, but like especially in this episode, I just thought like
Yeah.
he was just so like sure of himself, like in character as
Yeah.
Jackson, was just very like confident.
Right.
I liked. And speaking of confident though, like Jackson got to ride solo because
I know.
that was like so weird. I didn't really realize it at first, and I was like, because he was talking, I think he was talking with Gray or like the whoever was on the main channel at one time
Yeah.
when he was driving. And I thought the camera was gonna pan over to someone else like be sitting next to him, and it didn't. And I was like, oh,
I was
he's
like,
by
is this
himself.
safe for him to be by himself? I thought that they always had to have partners unless they were like a sergeant or something. But even then,
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. But I would have loved to see Smitty with
oh my
Jackson.
gosh, I
Could you
would
imagine that?
too. That would be
And
so
especially
funny.
because Jackson's not a rookie anymore.
Uh-huh.
You know, he's a
Yeah.
P2, which I believe that's what Smitty is too. I mean, he's not a training officer, is he?
Yeah. No, he's not. Yeah, I think he is. I don't know.
I
That
mean,
has been,
if I don't see Jackson and Lucy as partners, I want to see Smitty and Jackson as
please,
partners.
that would be so good, especially since I just got done watching season 2, episode 3, which had Smitty partner with Jackson.
Yeah,
And that was like, yeah, no, just an interesting thought to think about. Like
yeah.
that would be yeah, I agree. That would be something I'd like to see again. Would be Jackson and Smitty for sure. But yeah, so he's riding solo by himself. He gets a call to go up to another scene, and then oh my goodness gracious, guys, Doug Stanton is there. Like when I say my jaw was like dropped, I kid you not. I like couldn't even tweet anything for the next like minute until the screen went black because I was like so shocked by
So I think at
Doug
this
being
point,
there.
like I hadn't been watching, but our group chat was blowing up, and someone was like, "Stanton's back," and I was like, "Wait, what?" Because that
Uh-huh.
wasn't even hinted at.
No,
So I
not
was
at
like,
all.
I have to get home to watch this.
Yeah.
And then I got home and finally, I think I caught the part where like they were showing, the footage or whatever. And I
Mhm.
was just like, I really hope that everyone just turns on you.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, but it was like, oh my goodness, yeah. And so obviously like Jackson is outraged by seeing Doug back in uniform like on the streets again. So he's, running into Gray's office. Gray told him that no one had to let him know like in any, certain terms that Stanton wasn't punished like they thought he would be,
mhm.
which obviously makes Jackson more upset as it should. Um while he's there talking to Gray, Angela happened to be there and tells him that she's sorry that this is happening. My heart, I just love their friendship. Like, even the littlest moments between Jackson and Angela are so good. Like, oh, it just like warmed my heart that he has
Yeah.
like so much support. Um, and so it cuts back over eventually back to Jackson. He has reached out to Professor Ryan about wanting to go public with this whole situation of Stanton, still having his job. And Jackson wanted to give Gray a heads up about everything, which is why they're talking again. But Gray thinks that Jackson is making a mistake. Jackson's kind of like stuck between like a rock and a hard place though, because like the department, like there's no like good option. Like the department's left him with no other option but to like try to
Yeah.
pursue it in this way. And Gray Gray's not trying to protect Stanton, obviously. He's just wanting to protect Jackson and he doesn't want to see his career go down the drain, which obviously like I mean, Jackson's like he said, he was willing to, sacrifice
Right.
everything for this um cause or like this mission that he has. But like I just appreciated that Gray is still like looking out for
Yeah.
everyone under his command, especially Jackson in this season. And I mean just the way like Titus and Richard like delivered those lines.
Mhm. The way that like, Jackson ran into Gray's office,
Mhm.
when Gray was talking to Angela, like, oh my God, I felt Jackson's feelings.
Yeah.
That sounds
Mhm.
weird, but I did.
No, it was very like a very visceral like
Mhm.
reaction, very like just the way that they like delivered it with such like conviction and like nobility like never ceases to
Yeah.
amaze me.
Yeah.
Like bravo, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Good job. Because like obviously like we said, like Gray like cares about everyone under his command, but especially this season, we've seen
Right.
his professional relationship grow with Jackson. And so he sees how much this is affecting him. And so he has an idea, because the next time we see the two of them, they're in the office of I think it's the training coordinator or someone that is higher up and has more say in what happens with Doug. And so they're asking for something more to be done
Right.
about Doug's situation. And Gray's been friends with this woman for a long time, like they go way back. So they come up with this plan to use Jackson's body cam footage of his horrible assault in 305 under the guise of it being a training video. But really, it's to show the truth about Doug Stanton. Oh, I just need a minute though, because when they're just standing there at the back of the room and watching it all unfold, and then Jackson just announces, that's right, you cannot trust him to have your back. I got chills. I was like, oh
Yeah. But
so good.
I don't know. I also found it interesting that Stanton was in the Hollywood division, because to me, that's
That's
probably the second biggest division than the Wilshire one that they're in.
Probably.
I'm just thinking of cities in Los Angeles and California, and I would think that Hollywood would be one of the biggest.
Yeah.
And I guess there's quite a few, but for me, obviously it wasn't noted that Stan had, been horrible, but I would
Right.
think that they would at least put him in a different, maybe not as big of a district.
Yeah, which is why I think it goes to show the the lack of restraint when it comes to his power and his position.
Yeah.
As a white male. And I think that there were some strings that were pulled to get him to still be able to be where he was at the time.
Yeah.
But now that has been demolished in a damn powerful scene.
Yeah.
I cannot say enough good things about it. Everyone should go watch this show, if only for these important, very current storylines
and the representation.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah. So other shows should take note, as we said before.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. So now we have Lucy and Nyla. Lucy was summoned as she was bringing in the criminal. She was summoned by Gray for what we find out is an undercover op. Coco's been kind of brought back up. They said once this war started, it kind of brought everything back up to the surface. So now they kind of need to space everything out, space everyone out again, and disperse. And we find out it's a long-term placement without a surveillance team or access to immediate backup. And immediately my mind just went to the backstory that we've heard in Chicago PD 518 with Haley's case.
I was sorry, it took me a minute.
But we didn't hear much about it. But I was just that's interesting. Yeah. I mean, if we see Lucy go undercover in season 4, I wonder how much of it we'll actually see. I mean, because Melissa is, a main cast member. So will they just work that into, I would think, work it into the episodes?
I would hope so. I could see it I could see mentions of Lucy, or how she's, if somehow they could possibly know how she's doing in the field. But if not, then I would love to have a character centric episode on whatever kind of part of this operation she's been doing.
Yeah. But we see that, or Nyla says, it normally takes months to properly train an officer to go deep undercover like this, hundreds of hours of classroom and field training. But Nyla's just going to automatically throw her into the deep end, because Nyla, I think deep down knows that she can do it. Like she
Yeah.
does. Just because of everything that she's went through, like she's held her own. She's strong. She can do this. So
Well, that like reminded me of like the season 2 scene where they have like that fight scene in the sewer, you know, with Nyla and Lucy, just because just because like they're both like women in this like position of like, you know, they've either been undercover or they want to be undercover.
Yeah.
And so like they both, I don't know, like they just, I feel like Nyla just like really gets Lucy's like ambitions in ways that other characters might not.
I wonder if Nyla was like, I mean, Nyla had to have been like Lucy, right? Like when she was
I
just
could
a
see
cop.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. And maybe that's why Nyla wants to take her underneath her wing more. I mean, I'm here for more of this duo. Like, I need
For
it.
sure.
It doesn't even have to be undercover stuff. Like, Nyla can just be Lucy's mentor, like as a cop. But you know, we see Nyla teaching Lucy everything about being undercover, and we find out Lucy's alias. It's Nova Lynn, which I
Yeah.
thought was cute. I was like, oh, okay.
Someone
It
was
kind of
saying that might be a reference to Melissa's Dark Matter character, Portia Lynn. I hope I'm saying that
oh
right. Yeah, which I thought was interesting because I've seen some of uh that other show, and she kicks
yeah
ass on that show as well.
yeah
But yeah, so I don't. But yeah, no, it's a cool name, like Nova. That's a cool
yeah.
name.
And then we find out that Lucy also filled out 4 journals on her backstory, which I feel like that's a typical Lucy Chen thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, Nyla's like, I'm going to give you a minute and let you regroup, and then we're going in. And I loved that. I mean, I like that Nyla is, you know, she's not beating around the bush. She's not making it like, oh, you know, I'm going to handhold and coddle you
Yeah,
throughout
like she's
all
not
of
gonna
this. Like,
sugarcoat it.
yeah. But you know, we see, you know, Nyla say if Lucy wants to go undercover, there's no better teacher than Nyla, and then also maybe Nyla Sergeant Mark Murray, aka Shay. And so, you know, we see Lucy and Tamara being like at first, you know, Shay was kind of like, you know, I want you to do this, and you know, it was a setup, but we didn't know that at the time, and Lucy didn't either. But you know, I liked the part where he was like, that's a gun that police carry, and she's like, yeah, and it's because it's reliable. So you know, I want to have a reliable weapon on me. And she, a few times I was like, she's gonna blow this, like I don't
Well, like
want
they
her
do so
to.
good with like the music or like the subtle
Yeah,
like glance or the camera, you know, it pans over to Nyla who's just sipping her beer, like has
yeah,
not a care in the world because she knows Lucy's got this. But I was still like biting my nails, like, oh, nerves.
yeah. But then Lucy like looks across the street and she sees Tamara. And Shay's like, is everything okay? Lucy just comes back and she's like, yeah, everything's fine. And Tamara's being mistreated by a guy. So Lucy stepped in and told the guy off. And, you know, she kind of flashed her gun. That's when Shay was like, you carry that. That's a cop gun. But, you know, we find out that it was all a setup. And Lucy claims that she knew it was a setup, but she obviously didn't. And we love her for it. I don't know. I thought it was interesting that they got Tamara involved, but it does make sense because, you know, she is close with Lucy.
Yeah. I mean, I was just so surprised by like that moment. And then obviously that we find out later that like the um Nyla Sargent was like undercover too,
Yeah.
which I didn't pick up on at first either. And
Yeah,
so
I didn't pick up on that either.
just like all these little twists that they throw in.
Yeah.
Like they're just stepping up their game.
But I
for these
thought
last
it was
episodes.
interesting to see Lucy take on the chemist part of the undercover. Like we had before, but you know, like she's just really good at it. So I wonder if like in her college years, she had to have been like really good at science. I mean, we know she was a psych major, so she
There's
took some science classes, I'm sure.
yeah, there's some because like if you go into like obviously like the like medicinal side of like
Yeah.
psychology, there's you know, you have to know what different chemicals interact with the brain,
Yeah.
and whatnot. And so possibly that's maybe how she like maybe got like, you know, geeked out over that a little bit in college and like studied up, or she's just darn good at it now. Regardless, she's
Yeah.
like a rock star in those
Yeah.
scenes, delivering all that information. My goodness.
Yeah. But I like how on the Rookie, like they really like dive more into like different parts of the job.
Mhm.
And they show that. I mean, with some other shows, we do like see the dispatch side, or you know, like in like we have 911, Chicago PD, like they're all based in different towns, so you kind of see like the different ways that they do things and how they go about the job. But I just find it so interesting how like the Rookie dives more into the undercover side of things, because you don't see that a lot. And
No,
then
you don't.
like the Rookie has good continuity, so you know it's definitely like you're following up on this case, or you know, with these same people. But Shay said that Lucy is more knowledgeable than half the guys that work for him. And Nyla, you know, has told Gray like she's ready and he approved to the operation, but there's no telling how long she'll be under, so she needs to get her personal life squared away. And Lucy was like, that's fine. But in my mind, right away, it was like, well, what about tomorrow? I mean,
Yeah.
I guess she can still stay with Jackson and Lucy, you know, because Jackson will be there, but it's kind of like tomorrow's Lucy's responsibility. So
Yeah.
then
Well,
what?
of course, she did get into the housing
True,
project
yeah.
now, but like, there's no telling like if she's still, you know, she's in the midst of packing, like where they are with
Right.
that, like, you know.
Well, and like she'll still want to have Lucy around just for support, I would think.
Yeah.
But you know, I thought it was interesting, and obviously like another real part of the job that Nyla said, it's not always going to be glamorous, fun, like, you know, it will be boring at times. Like again, Nyla is not beating around the bush telling her like, you know, oh, it's going to be all rainbows and sunshine. Like no, she's telling it to her straight. So at the end of the episode, this is where the promo like freaked us all out. But it was the end of the episode, and we see Lucy innocently walking down the street. She's kind of smiling, just doing her own thing. And she's attacked. I say that in air quotes. I mean, she was, but it wasn't like, you know, she had a gun held to her or anything.
Yeah, she was just grabbed and
Yeah,
put in the
she was
vehicle.
abducted. And then, you know, we saw Nyla, like the next scene cut to Nyla tied up and like bloody on the ground. And, you know, I was just like, wait, what are we doing here? Because we have the season finale next week. I mean,
Right.
are
Because it
we
was
going
like
into a whole new storyline?
6 minutes left of the episode, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then they talk about Coco and Lucy screwing Mr. Salonga with all the chemistry things. And then Nyla had gasoline poured on her, and a flame appeared in Lucy's face and said, you know, like, if you don't get this straightened out, she's gone. I don't know why, but I guess the promo like just made it seem like it was a big scene. I mean, it was, but I would have expected that to be like first part of the episode. I don't know. The promo was heavily edited.
Yeah, as most are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I'll let you finish talking before I put in my 2 cents.
Okay.
Because I have feelings about how they did this.
Yeah. But it turns out it was all a setup, and Shay like pulled off his mask, and Nyla, you know, wanted to test her one more time. And Lucy's reaction was totally justified. Totally justified. She was like, you are a total, what did she say? Asshat or something.
Yeah, or oh, you had it in here. I swear you did. It was like super, like, I don't even know what it was. But if you guys know, just like tweet it out.
Well, and then Lucy was so pissed at Nyla, and she's like, why would you do this after what I went through before?
Yeah.
And I mean, she's not wrong. She's not wrong.
Well, that's where I'm like gonna interject and put my 2 cents in of like, if they didn't have Lucy push back like that, I would have been more like upset by the scene just because
Yeah.
given well, one, like given Lucy's like psych background, so she knows obviously how trauma can like affect a person.
Yeah.
But then also said trauma that she's been through and she was, put back in the dark again, like put in this, helpless situation.
Yeah.
And so like if they didn't like I think someone on Twitter that I was talking with said it, that like they explained it well enough so that we understood the reasons why they did what they did,
Yeah.
like from either side.
Yeah. I don't know. I was pissed for Lucy. But then when Nyla said, or Shay had said, she's pretty good. And Nyla said, of course she is. I taught her everything she knows. She had good reasons for doing it. She wanted to test her one more time. She said, or, Lucy was like, you said no more tests. And Nyla said, and that's why I did this one, because you thought that you were good to go. And, are you still ready to go undercover?
Yeah.
After what you experienced. And I thought for a minute Lucy was gonna kind of back out.
I thought she was too.
Because she hesitated. And then she was like, no, I still want to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh man. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, like I'm like that too, but then at the same time though, I feel like Lucy is not stubborn, but just like well, no, you know what? Kind of in a way, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
because though I think like she learned a little bit of that from like Tim, like being with Tim so much
Yeah.
though. Because like
Yeah.
even like Nyla's line of like, of course she's, I taught her everything she knows. Like Tim said something similar to that.
Yeah.
Like of course she did. Like I trained her or whatever. Like so like both of these people in her life that she looks up to are very like headstrong, like determined people. And so I feel like she's kind of like a sponge that like kind of absorbs some of that
Yeah.
from time to time, I think. And so I feel like she like really has just like instilled this like this is what she's gonna do, like kind of like Nolan in a way. Like, Nolan is so dead set on doing, pushing through this rookie program. Lucy is so gosh darn dead set on pushing into this new like job of undercover.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It was interesting. And I'm interested to see how it plays out next week, because in the promo, all we saw was wedding stuff. So, I mean, the rookie like will share a little video sneak peeks. So I'm wondering if we'll see some of that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. And I'm like I'm anxious to see where they take the storyline, because it is setting up for like, I bet it's the cliffhanger. Like she's gonna go undercover and something's gonna happen.
Oh geez.
And she's not gonna have access to anyone.
Oh geez.
So, I'm sorry.
Already putting me in my
but it's either that or the wedding doesn't happen, and I need the wedding to happen. I need
that's true, because
sort
it
of
did say in
happiness.
the promo though that their wedding venue is going to be seized, or at some point by the FBI is going to
But
crash
then
their
in the
party.
promo video, it was like the wedding that we've been waiting for or something. So I'm like, so are we having this wedding? Is it happening?
I don't know. I think that's the up in the air part of the. I know.
But we have to talk about that promo for next week, because like, good Lord, I mean, Twitter just had a field day with it, and rightfully so. I mean, Twitter at 7:30 on Monday night is still having a heyday with it. Like, people have downloaded the promo and just cut like the Chenford part out of it.
Me. You mean me? Just call me out next time.
The amount of times that I've watched it is very unhealthy. Like, I'm just gonna say that right now. It's very unhealthy.
It's
but
so
like
pretty though. Like, not even I mean, Chenford is, yes, but like the whole entire gosh darn thing.
Like just the lighting and the colors, like it just looks so good. So good. But yeah, there's a lot to unpack in it. I mean, from costumes and like wardrobe to like just the little moments that we've seen. I mean, oh my God, the tears are going to be flowing next week. I mean, I'm just going to say this right now. And then the podcast episode after it. Oh, we might be struggling a bit with it, just like, comprehending it. But
probably.
I mean, we have to cover the biggest line in that promo. I mean, at least for Chenford fans. But it was, hey Chen, save me a dance. Do you hear my heart shattering into a million little pieces right now? Because I'm losing it.
He said it so nicely.
I know. Well, okay. And then after rewatching it like 5 times, I noticed her face.
Mhm.
So like she was smiling when he like said, hey Chen, but well, she kind of had like a faint smile, slight smile on her face. And then when he said, save me a dance, and like looked off away from her, her face kind of got confused to like, okay, that's weird. But
Yeah, there was a
I
little
mean,
bit
I'm
of a
not gonna
different.
like, say no to that. Which I wouldn't either. Tim Bradford in the talks. Hello. You don't turn that down.
Can we get that trending for next week, guys? Like Tim in a tux
Seriously.
or like something like that. Just like
Yeah.
everybody though, everyone looks so
Wesley in a white
good.
tux. Wesley was in a white tux.
And like Jackson's like, was it like maroon or like a
Something like
a
that,
deep
yeah.
kind of red color? Oh,
Yeah.
so good. And like Nolan's dressed up and he's bringing a date. You guys,
It's a first date to a
oh
wedding.
yeah, it's a first date. Oh my gosh.
I want to know how he meets Jenna Dewan's character. I was reading the press release again, and it said that he like endangers himself or something.
Yeah.
So
well, like, and I don't know if that means like, is she the new neighbor or does that just like something like not?
oh,
I don't know. I'm just excited. For yeah, I'm just excited because like it's not exactly gonna be a Witches of East End reunion, guys, with like
yeah.
Jenna and Eric, but like at least we wouldn't have to see like a jealous Lucy because Jenna Dewan's character is not Tim's date; she is Nolan's date. So there you
Yeah.
go. Like,
Yeah, the press release for next week says Officer Nolan mildly injures himself while chasing down a shoplifter, and the local DA wants to charge the suspect with assault despite Nolan's wishes. I'm assuming that shoplifter is Jenna Dewan's character. I don't know
see, and then where
why.
I was thinking like, oh, she might be like the attorney or whatever, but
I don't know
I don't
why,
know.
but I am.
Huh?
Unless
That would be interesting.
have we met Raina yet? Because it looks like someone comes in who's named Raina.
No, I
So
don't
that
think
could be
so.
the shoplifter. It's
No.
interesting. No, because she wouldn't have a name then. Like
Yeah,
she's
that's
just a
true.
shoplifter, and Jenna Dewan is not listed in the guest starring on
Okay.
Spoiler TV. So
I guess
I don't know.
we'll just have to wait and see, guys. But that's pretty cool. Like they've like brought all
They
the cool
brought
guest stars
big guest stars.
for
I don't
sure.
know, but I thought that was interesting. Like first date, and you're taking her to a wedding. I mean, like that's a little gutsy for no one. I feel like.
Uh-huh. Yeah, well, and even
Like
like
I
her
wouldn't think
character was like, well then that, like that sets it up for, their
a lot of
first kiss or
pressure.
whatever. Yeah, a lot of pressure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, so I don't know.
but going back to the Chenford, thing, because again, hello, I just can't stop talking about it, thinking about it, like
It's so
until
good.
Wednesday. But even then, like I will still be freaking out about it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the way that Bradford is gonna like hold Chen on the dance floor. Like, are they gonna get close? Are they gonna keep their distance a
I
little
just
bit?
hope we get it. Like I just hope we actually get this
Yeah,
dance
I know. I saw someone tweet and they were like, "We're never gonna see this dance." I was like, "Don't put that into the air.
into the
Please
universe.
don't.
Yeah, don't do
Please
it.
don't." Because like I need a happy moment in a season finale where like Lucy could very well go undercover and possibly get hurt or something. Like we
Yeah.
just don't know.
Well, and like
But
Eric like went on a Twitter liking spree again. Well, he and Melissa both. Like
yeah,
they're like so active on Twitter, you guys.
I know. The
But they like
best.
went on like a little liking spree of like, oh well if they get, what if it like, it ends in their dance or it ends in a kiss or blah blah blah. And I'm like, I can't even begin to process.
I just don't see them like kissing or something
No, I
yet.
don't either.
I don't
To be
think there's
honest.
been enough like build up. I mean, there
No.
has been some, but there hasn't been enough to where it's like, oh my God, he's ready to like make a move or she's ready to make a move. I
I
did
just want
see
like a speech
someone,
though.
yeah,
I want like a good speech.
I did see someone say that like she's gonna talk about going undercover and start rambling about like how she knows, he doesn't want her to do that and all that. And he's gonna like shut her up by kissing her.
That'd be cute.
Maybe on the cheek. I don't.
Aw,
Again, I
cute.
just don't know if I see it being on the lips.
Yeah.
Like as much as I want that, I don't
Right.
think they're at the point yet to where
Yeah.
like it's clear that they're gonna make a move. Unless
Oh God.
unless Tim has really been thinking about Lucy's confession in quotes from
Oh, we're going
the
there now.
episode from the episode where she was like, I have feelings for you. And then she was kidding about it. Unless he's been thinking about that and he's like, save me a dance. And he wants to talk about it then.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
I just can't believe, like, guys, like, I mean, I know, like, not everyone is like on Tumblr. Tumblr's definitely manifested it a lot of like,
Yeah.
you know, like what Lucy's
Even
gonna
down
wear
to
to
the
the
dress.
wedding. Like,
Yes.
yeah. But like also like Twitter has too, of
Yeah.
like this slow dance like being a thing that could possibly happen. And so like just the fact that like we hear him like, you know, ask her to save him a dance, like, oh, it's just, oh, I have a lot of feelings, you guys.
But I also have full like recognition that we are probably getting clowned in like the biggest way possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like fully ready to admit that
Yeah.
you know I'm okay if that happens, but
Yeah.
I really hope that it doesn't.
Well, like the note, you know, the thing like where Tim is opening the gift or whatever, like before the powder bomb goes off in
Yeah.
his face.
Yeah.
Like that little smile is like me waiting for this to happen, and then
Yeah.
like the poof is gonna be
Yep.
the clown.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
fine. But like guys, the Lucy in the green dress though and the red lip is so
Yes.
pretty. I had said earlier like on Twitter or Tumblr, I can't remember which one, but I was like, I think she's gonna wear either green or red. I don't know why I picked those two colors, but I manifested it. I am so pleased.
Literally, people were even talking about her hair.
Mhm.
And I think I said like half up, half down, like curled.
Yeah.
And I don't like with the red lipstick. I
And they
mean,
brought back a braid though. They have a little braid in the back, like it's a half braid. Oh, it's so pretty.
if I don't lose it over the Chenford moment, I will lose it over what Lucy Chen is wearing.
Can we talk about Angela though? Like Angela,
Yes. Her
like that
dress.
sparkly, yeah, it's like but that like sparkle that's like
Yeah.
on like that jacket kind of thing, or like shrug or a shawl kind of thing that she has on is so pretty too. Oh my gosh, I just
Well, and behind the scenes photos have been like leaking around Twitter. Well, not leaking around Twitter, but like they've been all over Twitter. And we're just like, where are these coming from? I saw that the wardrobe department, one of those people in that department like shared it, but
yeah,
I'm just like, you guys, we're
I'm
not
just so
ready, and
excited.
we have like 6 days, and
Yeah.
we're already like losing it. But I don't the rookie like and Chenford army has just grown so much. I mean, someone tweeted like this time 2 years ago, the Chenford fandom was made up of about 5 people, and now they're trending. And
Yeah.
Eric like quote tweeted it and just said Chenford army is growing with like the arm, you know, like bulging emoji.
Yeah, which he always does.
And
Yeah.
I'm just like, it really has. I mean, I feel like
No, it
my entire timeline on Sundays is the rookie. And it's all my friends that like, you know, we've all just been like, you need to watch this, you need to
Yeah.
watch this. So
Aren't you so glad I convinced you to watch it?
I am. Oh my gosh, we didn't talk about Jackson. Well, we talked about him like, you know, his suit or his tux.
Oh, yes, but their hug.
Yeah. Yep.
The hug. He hugs Angela. That's so nice.
Before we started recording, I texted our group chat and I said, I have two possibilities who could be walking her down the aisle, Jackson or Sergeant Gray. And I think I'm going
Either
with
one of
Jackson.
those are gonna make me cry.
Well, yeah, but I think I'm going with Jackson more so.
Really?
Because one of our friends is like, you know, that segment in the promo was, it looked like they were like getting ready to walk down. And then when I was watching it again, Wesley and Patrice were walking down.
That's true though, because like you don't usually like friends don't usually see the bride beforehand unless they're gonna be like in the you
like
know
part
in
of
the
wedding
ceremony.
party.
Yeah.
But
In some
then I
way.
also had another thought because as I was watching the promo, I thought that Angela like looked down at her belly, and it looks like I thought maybe is she having like second thoughts about this? And I was like, no, she wouldn't,
No, I don't think so.
because it was before Jackson came in.
Yeah.
I really hope not, but my mind just went there because we do know that the venue gets seized by the FBI, but that's not to say that like, you know, she doesn't have second thoughts and she's like, I just don't know. And then when it gets seized, she's like, oh, well, okay, you know, we can just hold off more. But I don't think so. I don't think she would have those.
I mean,
second
like in like
thoughts.
my perfect world, like the wedding happens, Chenford has their dance, and like everyone, you know,
Yeah,
everyone goes home at the end of the night. What's probably going to happen is there's going to be some kind of cliffhanger with like something, like not everything, you know, either they're not going to finish their dance, or if they finish their dance and like the, you know, the wedding's going to get interrupted, or like vice
yeah,
versa, you know, like something's not going to be finished wholly.
yeah.
And
Again, trust issues. We
yeah,
just we can't see anything and just automatically like be, you know, 100% happy for it. Like we do
yeah.
have.
I mean, I am, because that promo was just beautiful. Like
It was, yeah.
it was so good.
Well, and then like the music and just like
Yeah.
the you know text that they had, like the
Mhm.
rookie, and oh my gosh, I was just like, this is a wedding episode. Like
Yeah.
some shows when they have a wedding, like they gloss over it or something. But I feel like this episode will have a lot of the like wedding stuff in it. Because
Mhm.
they've built up to that all season.
Yeah. I'm just
So
excited to see them all out of their uniforms, or like,
yeah,
I mean, they're not even, I mean, yes, they're in plain clothes in terms of, you know, they're not in their uniforms, but like they're all dressed up and like I mean, like even, you know, Gray's there, Nyla's there, like
mhm,
everyone is there.
yeah.
Um, so it's just gonna be really exciting, you
And
guys. We
all in beautiful
can't wait.
colors. Like
Mhm.
Lucy's dress was like a forest green color. Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
But did we have any other notes on this episode?
Nope, I am once again for the third time in a row all talked out.
We had a lot to talk about, man.
We
There was
did.
a lot. But you can find us on Twitter at the Shop Talk Pod _ or email us at shoptalktherookiepodcast@gmail.com with all of your thoughts. Make sure you check out RT Public Store if you want some merch for the rookie. I mean, there's not a whole lot that I saw on the internet, but you know, I mean, we'll be coming out with designs, and we will have that design on Tuesday when this drops. So tomorrow, because we record on Monday nights. But you can find us individually on Twitter too. I'm Jay Stark 804.
And I'm at Carrie Hyman.
And the rookie is back next week with one last episode for the season. So we'll obviously cover that, and then we'll kind of, you know, figure out what we're doing after that. It'll definitely be like, you know, some old episodes, maybe even like some stuff, you know, that the actors have been in before.
Yeah.
I know Eric's been in like some soap operas. Maybe we could watch those, because those are always interesting to watch.
That's true.
So yeah, we'll figure something out. So but anyway, thanks for listening. Bye everyone.
Bye guys.
Go get 'em, boo.